Hey, what's up? It's Chad Altman doing a video today on addressing childhood trauma and how that might come up for you specifically in your own parenting. What a lot of you might not know is I actually am a single widowed father to two boys, ages 3 and 7. And so recently, while leaning into different work to try to address some things of my own and leaning into the shadows, something came up. And I'll give you an exact situation. So my son the other day, I'm in the kitchen, and so is he. And we have this like table that him and my other son sit at and eat snacks and stuff like that. And so he spilt a drink, my oldest. And so when he spilt the drink, he immediately jumped in to apologizing, like over the top apologizing. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I just like was hit so hard in that moment. And it took me back to when I was a child. And I had to think, like, when did I over apologize? Did I over apologize when I was a kid? And like, what created those reactions? And I had to think about it for a second. And of course, like in that scenario, I took my time and I sat down with my son and I just held space with him for a minute. And like, I told him I loved him, and I hugged him and I held him and I let him know that it was okay to make mistakes and that he was all right and that it was just a drink and that we can clean it up. But the truth of the matter is, like, he was scared of me. And that was completely unacceptable to me. 100% unacceptable to me. And I had to think about, after that situation took place, I had to lean into that darkness. And what that meant for me is like I needed to get quiet by my fucking self. And I had to really look at that because my son being scared of me was completely unacceptable to me. And so what I did is I got quiet and I thought about times that, like, when was I scared when I was a kid? And like tons of fear cropped up for me. And unfortunately, a lot of that fear came at the hand of my father, and, my father and I, we have a relationship today. And, I have forgiven him for the things that have happened. But the truth of the matter is, like, the things that happened when I was a child, like, no matter if that happened to me at the hand of my father or society or my mother or wherever it happened, it doesn't matter where it happened. What matters is that I have to do the work to heal that, or else I'm going to give it to my kids, or I'm going to show up in other relationships right like that. So it's my responsibility to heal it. And so there's a lot of different things that I use as techniques to do that. One of the biggest ones for me is meditation. And I use it to access that child. And there's other things that I do too, like in my home, right by my light switch in my bedroom, I have a picture of myself when I was a kid. Mostly the age where I felt like I had the most fear. And so I sit that right at the light switch of my bedroom. So when I leave my room every day, I can see that kid and I can love that kid a little more. Because what happens is all these different things are just like all these things that come up now today, they're just ways that we protect ourselves and try to protect our inner child. But the thing that happened to me that really messed me up is I showed behaviors of becoming my father. And so that took on a different role. That took me into looking at a different way of parenting. And so I've been practicing gentle parenting lately. And if you haven't heard about gentle parenting, or if it's not something that you know about, you should look it up and do some research on it. The practical application is that rather than forcing your kid into timeout, that you sit with them in timeout and you don't allow them to like be punished for the things that you do. You talk through them, allow them, because kids are just learning their own emotions. In the same way that I was shunned away and told that I was not right and you're wrong. And the truth of the matter is, like, that's what we're supposed to do as parents, is to sit with our children through that. We're supposed to sit through them navigating those emotions. We're not supposed to push them in a corner and say, figure it out. Like, that doesn't work. What works, though, is when they make a mistake, you take them and you sit with them and you talk to them about their mistake. And when they're crying, you talk to them about their emotions so they can learn to navigate that stuff. And then what happens is we raise emotionally intelligent kids that end up being emotionally intelligent adults. And then hopefully when they get to be my age, my children, they know how to navigate situations that I'm having to do the work on, and have been doing the work on for a while to get to where we are today. So if you like content like this and you'd like to do a guided meditation to access that inner child, like I talked about, like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope you have an awesome day.